Alright, how we doing, folks? Today we are continuing our exploration of Standard with SuperFriends. SuperFriends has been an archetype in Standard for a long time, as long as Planeswalkers has been out, honestly. Um, and it's kind of fallen off a bit recently just because of the 32 Planeswalkers that exist in Standard. 18 of them will pretty heavily require you to play creatures. You know, like a Johnny's +1 is you put counters on a creature. A lot of them have something to do with that, and it's pretty unreasonable to play them without creatures. So I got all the strongest ones that obviously don't have that clause, uh, and put them in a deck. Um, Now there is still a Dovin, but we'll get into why I'm playing all this. We'll start with the deck tech. So the first part of the deck is the card advantage, or at least card selection. So we're going to start over here. We have 4 treasure maps and 3 search for Escantas. They're both all stars in picking what you need. The format is very diverse. You want to have the right answers for the right deck, and they're just super good. Plus, our deck has a lot of instant sorcery synergies. So you're going to put a lot of instant sorceries in the graveyard over the course of the game. Search for Escanta can definitely flip. And we have a lot of artifact synergies. So both of these cards play into what our planeswalkers are doing already. Next, we have our removal suite, air quotes, because they're a lot of, other than the lightning strikes, they're all multifaceted. So we have 4 lightning strikes. They're just good removal, keeps us alive against really aggressive strategies and can provide a little bit of reach if that's what we really want to be doing. We also have 2 absorbs. Normally, counter magic isn't really what you want to be doing here, but absorb is very good against aggro because it gains life. 3 life is not irrelevant at all. 3 life is great. And sometimes you need to force through your planeswalkers. So it's good in our aggro matchups and it's good in our control matchups, especially because if you land planeswalkers in a control matchup, it's a really big swing. So having that there is pretty nice. And then Fight with Fire. Fight with Fire is removal for some of our bigger targets, and it's a finisher. Our planeswalkers make these incidental tokens. We'll get in little hits of damage, and then once our opponent gets down to 10, you can just smash in for 10 with Fight with Fire. The next thing we have is our sweepers. So our sweepers are Settle the Wreckage and Deafening Clarion, 3 of each. Deafening Clarion obviously isn't quite as good because we don't really use the lifelink clause on that very often. But it's still an Anger of the Gods, still just 3 mana Wrath, 3 mana, 3 damage to each creature, and it generally keeps us alive against the white weenie decks, the red aggro decks, that sort of matchup. Honestly, these are the cards that are most easily sideboarded out. There's a lot of control on MTGO, so those are easy outs, and we can throw in the large control sweep we have for our in our sideboard. Next, we have the fun part, the Planeswalkers. So we're going to start with Karn, just because that's the easiest to explain. Karn is just solid. It's super easy to cast because it's colorless. It's just good card advantage. And when we flip Treasure Map and we have Tezzerat artifacts going, those constructs can get pretty good, pretty big, and be our finisher. We have 1 Dovin. So Dovin is good even if you don't use its +1. That's right. So even if you put him on the battlefield, -1, -1, +1, maybe your Thopters get in, and then you can keep -1ing him. So generally, we're not going to ult him, but he's just a blocker, like a blocker generator. He slows down the game for us a little bit. Stops people from getting in with you know, big 6/6 hexproofy whatever green stompy things. Keeps us alive for a little while, and is really good with our artifact synergies. It's more 1/1 artifacts for our Karn. Next we have Ral. Ral is at Viceroy. So Ral is more card advantage. If you haven't noticed so far, or if you haven't looked at uh, all of our planeswalkers, they're all either creating artifact 1/1s or they're giving us card advantage. We are going to bury our opponent in card advantage. So this one, +1, look at the top 2 cards and you put 1 in your hand. Solid. -3 it's a nice removal spell. Once our lightning strikes, Fight with Fires, and Deafening Clarions have gone through, then we can take out their last threat with a -3 for morale. And I doubt we're ever gonna emblem him, but his emblem is just a nice, finisher. Whenever you cast instant sorcery, you basically just get infinite card advantage and deal some damage. So Rao's great. Um, he's a little bit worse than Teferi. That's why there's 3 of him and 4 Teferi. Teferi's excellent. Makes our absorbs look a little bit better. The removal's great. It's just solid. And oftentimes people scoop to Teferi. That's probably one of his biggest upsides. You just play Teferi, untap, and like once you've drawn 3 cards, your opponent thinks this. Maybe they think it's a control matchup, which it isn't in a way, but because we're not going to bear our opponents in counter spells necessarily. We only have a couple. But it's pretty demoralizing to let a Teferi resolve and sit on the battlefield. So that one's great. And then Tezzerat is kind of the one I'm most excited for, actually. I love Tezzerats. They're always, when you read them, they always look so incredibly powerful, but they never really find a spot because artifact decks are usually lower to the ground than you'd like Tezzerat to be. Um, but this Tezzerat's insane. So it's +1, create a 1/1, solid for a 5 mana planeswalker. That's not, insane anyway, but like whatever, it's good. And then it's 0, you get to draw 2 cards with a 0 pretty often with treasure maps flipping and Karn tokens and Dovin tokens. So it's just 0 draw 2. That's just strictly better Jace, right? Well, maybe not strictly better, but it's good. It's a good 0. And then its emblem is actually probably the worst emblem we have because by the time we're embleming it, I'm sure we'll have more than just Tezzerat as a planeswalker out there. So we'll maybe be able to get 2 more planeswalkers, and then that's it. But I mean, if we're at the point of embleming him, we're probably gonna win. But yeah, that's the deck. We'll move on to the sideboard real quick so we can get into the games. Nothing too spicy here. We have negates for the control matchups, Lyra Dawnbringers for some aggro, and other matchups that Lyra's just good in. Lava Coil is just good hedge against stuff that you really need to exile. One more Deafening Clarion for the matchups where you need it, where you need more board wipes. Demystify looks kind of silly, but turns out there is a lot of powerful enchantments in the format and a lot of ones that you want to kill. So stuff like Ixalan's Binding, which is the next card. Seal Away, obviously Seal Away is not that very good against us, but just that sort of thing. There's a lot of mill stuff. There's a lot of Search Phase Contas running around. Demystify pretty much will always have targets. And then Ixalan's Binding, it's just so like if they have one card that you just really can't handle, Ixalan Binding is just your problem solver. But yeah, let's get into the games and see how this does. Um, so far, the hardest part about this deck has been its mana base. You'd think with all the shock lands and the buddy lands coming out that mana bases are kind of gimmies, but Jeskai is not the easiest, and a lot of stuff in our deck has double blue, um, you know, and we're pretty much split evenly between white, blue, and red. So if we don't have all 3 colors, it is a problem. That being said, this hand is sweet. So we got lots of card advantage in the beginning, a little bit of removal. Yeah, I think this will work. Unfortunately, our opponent goes first, but that'll be okay. We got a red player with no turn 1 play. That makes me think they're not really, mono red aggro, because they pretty much always have a turn 1 play. Well, they played another mountain, and still nothing. Alright, I'm certainly don't know what's going on at the moment. Alright, we'll start with Search for Azcanta. We're not really doing much right now anyway, so I'm kind of glad our opponent's not pressuring us in any meaningful way. Alright, another mountain for our opponent. And Sarkhan, we're playing against some dragons. Alright, well, unfortunately I can't Lightning Strike that. I have not played this matchup for sure, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. I don't actually know what's in this deck. I mean, I can guess, the different dragons, that Hellkite that just came out. Um, it's kind of hard to believe that they're just mono red, because there's so many good dragons in other slots. Dovin seems solid. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep that. We'll go ahead and shock this in. And get our Dovin train going. Hopefully it's enough to keep the Sarkhan in check, though I'm sure he's slamming in a big old dragon right now. 6 cards in hands. Come on, loot. Or rummage. Yeah, you have to discard first. Oh, there's another land. Alright, what do you got, opponent? What did they discard? Spit Flame. Oh, it's a good removal spell. Alright, they're about to slam a dragon. I'm gonna guess it's the Hellkite. It is. Alright, is he gonna put a counter on it? He does. Interesting choice. Okay, and he gets his Spit Flame back. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So, this isn't great. Deafening Clarion. Well, that's not really what I'm looking for. Like, obviously I can Deafening Clarion and Lightning Strike together to kill Skargan, but I don't really want to do that. Although I'm not doing really that much anyway right now. Yeah, let's keep it, why not? So I'll play this tapped. I will play a treasure map. And I will do another minus on Dovin. So he could, at this point, obviously he could use his ability to like double kill our Thopter and then attack Dovin. It's obviously not ideal, but we're gonna sweep the board in a minute anyway, so it's kind of okay. Or he could just ping Dovin, ping a Thopter and attack, in which case we're probably blocking. So it's the same either way. Dovin is not long for this world. Or they could just not use the ability and play another dragon. I I accept that outcome. But with this deck, we're usually losing in the beginning. We have to kind of turn a corner, you know. So obviously we're not there yet. We're gonna take some losses in the beginning. Make sure our scry engines are going strong and getting the cards we need on time. All right, yep, they're going for it. Sure thing. Okay, he's rummaging. Discards Spit Flame. Man, that's a good engine. I don't know, I never considered this, but he is going for Dovin. Okay. Let's keep the scrying going. Karn. Does that do anything? I mean, we're going to kill Skargan this turn. So is Karn a good follow-up? This is tough. Because Karn doesn't really pressure Sarkhan in a meaningful or quick way. I'm gonna say no. And that can definitely go in the graveyard. Obviously, this is not the most efficient thing ever, but so his alt is create 4/5/5s. Yeah, we're gonna need to settle the records to handle that. And another white source. Yeah, we're definitely behind the 8 ball here. guess we'll take Karn this time. I mean, we don't... Maybe we're searching for a Teferi. Hey! I mean, better lucky than good, I guess. Yeah, I got nothing. That was just incredibly lucky. I'm glad I thought of it. I was really tempted to take the Karn. But, yeah, no ultimate for you. That worked out incredibly well. Alright. I'm going to say corner, maybe not corner turn, but approaching there. Detection Tower. I see a lot of people playing Detection Tower. I don't really have anything with hexproof, but enters the battlefield, deals 5 damage to target opponent unless they sacrifice a creature. Well, guess we're taking 5. And they get back their Spit Flame, maybe. Not that I'm have any creatures for him to use it on. At least not yet. Let me remind myself how Dragon Hordes worked. Okay, so you can tap for any color. Whenever you play Dragon, you get a gold counter, and you can remove the gold counter to draw a card. It's a nice card advantage. Alright, I guess we're searching for removal at this point. But we got a lot of looks to get there. That doesn't do it. We could keep it in hopes of finding another one, but Fight with Fire would kind of be the best one right now. Nah, I don't think we want that. I mean, it's not going to kill anything in his deck, realistically. Oh, I should have treasure mapped. Alright, well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Let's put an upkeep stop. So, let's draw a card with Teferi. Okay, well, I got maximum rewarded last time and max punished this time for ditching the Lightning Strike. Because I definitely would have used that to kill the Demanding Dragon. That's okay, though. We'll just play another treasure map. Well, tapping correctly. Anyway. Play another treasure map. Play a Hallowed Fountain tap. Teferi's probably going to die, but it'll be okay. Does he decide to... Yep, okay, he's still going after planeswalkers. This is okay. I mean, this is what my deck does. They're not killing me, they're killing my planeswalkers, which is obviously the right choice, but, you know, I'm not dead, so I accept. 4 mana. What does he got? Probably going to counter basically whatever he plays. Well, especially that. Yeah, that's not really a hard choice. Because I can't really deal with Sarkhan very easily. Creatures are like, you know, a little bit easier to deal with. See if he has another follow-up after that. Even if he does play something that we can Lightning Strike, we're probably just going to treasure map. Sarkhan's Unsealing, so I know what this card does, but at the same time I don't really know what it does. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4, 5, or 6, it deals 4 damage to any target, so makes the clock quite a bit faster. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 7 or greater, is there even anything in the deck power 7 or greater? It might just be for the first part. Okay, let's do some scrying action. Oh, that's so close. Oh, it's so close. I think it's close enough. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep that. And just cause might as well put a counter on it. Oh, right, I forgot about the transform, so we do have enough mana, actually. All right, excellent. So we will bolt our opponent's face for little to no value, though Lightning Strike is not killing anything in their deck anyway. As Sarkhan's Unsealing might show you, they don't have anything in their deck with toughness 3 or less. Probably, not that I know the deck list. Alright, use Ral as a nice removal spell. Alright, I'm going to say corner turned. We got a whole lot of card advantage going, and a nice Planeswalker sit on the battlefield that he's not pressuring. Although, that being said, there's a couple dragons with haste. Ral could just die this turn. But let's hope and pray. Alright. Do some scry action. That can absolutely go to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we'll scry again. We got plenty of mana. Fight with fire, eh? I think we want to keep that. Keeping Ral alive and just kind of waiting. We'll play the wait game. Keep our removal open. Fight with fire is a pretty good one. All right, well, obviously that's excellent. So, kind of feels like we can't lose now. That might just be totally untrue. Oh my god. Okay. Well, yeah. This is the corner I was talking about. I could have untapped Escanta there, but I wasn't planning on using the treasures for that. The treasures, obviously, they're good for sacking and drawing cards, but they kind of increase our clock a lot once we start winning. So I tend to not just be unreasonable with sacking them. I will definitely scry again. I mean, that's not even necessary at this point, is it? We can keep it in case. In case of what? There's nothing. Okay. And there's a Tezzerat. Alright, so let's do some drawing first. Let's start with Ral. Take a search for his contest, sure. Draw a card with Teferi. Yeah. I almost wish I could reveal my hand to my opponent just because it feels like they are so far from being able to do anything at this point in the game. Alright, pass the turn. So now we're probably going to start Escanting. And this is usually where people start scooping. You know, some people like to wait it out. Oh, Spit Flame, okay. Good beats. I guess I said it was going to be useless, but did something there. So there's a argument to getting rid of the Sarkhan's Unsealing with Teferi, but I think it's better if I just alted Teferi. So we're gonna go for that. Again, we're gonna. Oh, I should have Escanted. I totally forgot. It's it's hard to mess up too bad at this point, though. Take the treasure map, but our card advantage is totally burying them at this point. I could draw 2. I don't know that I want to do that. Yeah, I kind of just want to get him to 10. Make sure I don't run out of time, honestly. So, yeah, we will play another search, pass it back. They are brutal with that Spit Flame. Alright. Yeah, at this point we're probably searching for our other Fight with Fire to just close it out. he is probably kicking, yeah. So you get 2 4/4s. Cool beans. He's going to deal 4 to Teferi. I accept. I mean, like, this is great, but, I mean, there's just no way. It's a lot of triggers. Alright, so just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and Nisconta now. Searching for our other Fight with Fire. Didn't find it, but I'll take another Row. Any order. Go ahead and start drawing some cards here. Alright, still no luck. Yeah, we can go ahead and put that in the graveyard. I would not like to transform. So we will, just because we're trying really hard to draw cards at this point. Still nothing. Still nothing. Wow, it's going to be on like the bottom of our deck. Alright. Well, there's not very many cards left in our deck. I guess we'll just go and slam down all the planeswalkers we have in the deck. Oh, except for Dovin. We have all of our planeswalkers except for Dovin. And we will reveal the top 2. We got Iskanta. What was the other one? Treasure Map and Iskanta, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and start discarding some cards. I mean, we're just going to settle the wreckage here. And, yeah. Come on. There we go. So, just get rid of some lands. Let's see, probably don't need another Tezzerat. Not another search for sure. Alright, what do I got? Whenever another token dragon enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 creature token with flying. I mean, I'll just counter it. Okay. Kills Teferi. Rip. You might notice I'm playing very loose right now. I'm trying to just blaze through this and end it as quickly as possible because time is a real factor. And not to sound like cocky or anything, but we are not losing this game. It looked bad in the beginning when our Dovin kind of ate the dust, but we have very much turned the corner. Alright, and we will actually be getting rid of some tokens here. Hey, there it is. Alright, that should do it. Come on, opponent. Let's go to game 2. Yeah, some people don't like to scoop early, which is fair. I don't either. I generally kind of wait it out until like, you know, the bell tolls basically. Um, but when I'm playing against Super Friends decks, it's kind of demoralizing, honestly. So I tend to scoop it up a little bit earlier against Super Friends rather than other decks. All right, look at the top two cards. Grab an irrelevant card. Create a 1/1. Create a token. And pass it back. Alright, you got random mono red discard? That's what it'll take. And even then. I'm glad this deck's performing well though. You know, Dragons is a deck that people play. Um, I'm not sure like how top of the tier it is, but it's good. It's for sure good. It's nice that we're blanking a lot of the removal. I mean, obviously we're not blanking it; they're using it, but um, it hasn't really made much of a difference on the game. Okay, should do it. So it's 7, 8, 9. All right, good game. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt nervous when we in the beginning of the game with that well, they didn't make it hasty, but the riot dragon. All right, apparently that was enough. All right, we'll go to game 2 or the next game. Yeah, so that was pretty demoralizing. Um, yeah, I got nothing else. I honestly loathe playing against Super Friends decks for that reason. It feels like playing against a control deck where they just like tighten the noose, and you know you're not dead. You're not going to be dead for like probably 10 more turns, but you know the game's already over. All right, well this hand is exceedingly bad, but I'm really not a fan of mulling. And yeah, please don't be playing mono red. There's no early interaction and no early card draw, but we got all of our colors. We got some removal. Hopefully that's enough to keep us alive. And we're on the play. I didn't even realize that. All right, let's see what we're on. Sea Welter, 86, mono red. Okay. Remember that time when I said I hope it's not mono red? Yeah, this could be bad. So we're looking for Deafening Clarions and Absorbs. All right. Definitely going on the slow route. All right. Pinging us. This is not the scariest start in the world for sure. Don't think we're going to lightning strike that. I'd rather hit a chain whirler or something. But I mean, I'll let them attack, and if they don't play anything still, then I'll probably bolt it. But I'll let them attack. There's just 1 damage. Hopefully, is not the deciding factor. Bolt on their end step. Wow. All right. This is a very unusual start from mono red because their entire deck is basically, yeah, that amount of mana. So they pretty much always have something to play. Okay. So we're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere fast, but that's the game plan. We got 2 settler wreckages and a whole lot of planeswalkers. So lands or spells are pretty good at this point. Feeling good despite the fact that we kept a pretty bad hand against mono red. Also helped that they've only played 2 spells. Well, the one guild gate is haunting me, but it's okay. We're probably going to start with Tezzerat, honestly, just because it's the harder one for them to kill. You know, starts up at 6 loyalty after you plus it and gives itself a jump blocker. And then we can play Teferi. Although them using all the resources to kill one Teferi while we just have another would feel pretty good. Wow, this is the strangest mono red just game I've ever seen. Usually they're so, you know, balls to the walls, play your entire hand by turn 4. But hey, we'll see. Maybe they're doing something different. Okay, there's a Steamkin. Maybe they were trying to wait to combo off this Steamkin. Are they about to play a Frenzy? That would be pretty scary, though we can get rid of the Frenzy with Teferi. I don't know if we'd want to, per se. Opponent's thinking over their options. They do have plenty. They might be land flooded. That is a lot of lands for mono red. 6 lands, that's well beyond what they will ever need. Alright, what are they bolting? They're bolting my face. You can accept that. Bolting my face again. That's a lot of burn. Alright, that is pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. If they're going face, that means that's like the plan. They probably have more burn coming. Alright, so we will absolutely not be playing that untapped. Not that we could use it for anything anyway. So that's okay, make another 1/1. So now we could play Teferi. So we have 3 options, really. We could play Teferi and plus and just draw another card. I don't really like that option. I want to get rid of the runaway Steamkin. We could Teferi and minus. That means that Teferi probably dies, but that's okay. Or we could not play Teferi at all and just settle the wreckage. But I think I like Teferi minus. That's what I'm going to go for here. We have another Teferi, you know, in the background, so if they use another burn spell to kill Teferi, that's a win, for sure. So we'll just bait them, see if they take it. People are somewhat unreasonably scared of Teferi. Not totally unreasonably. It's a good card, but they go after it sometimes when there's no need. Alright, 3 cards in hand. 2 cards. Oh, they got another land. Alright, that is really good for us. Okay, well, that's probably going to go out to Teferi, and that's not great. Oh, they scoop it up. Well, that's a confusing, but I did feel like we were going to win that game. So, alright, great. So we're going to Deafening Clarion in. What are we taking out? Lyra Dongbringer is pretty great. It's about all we want. Fight with Fire seems unnecessary. We're gonna... The planeswalkers are enough to win the game. Let's see. Dovin is fantastic. Absorb is great. Treasure Map might be a little slow. Right, let's try it like that. If I thought they probably are playing the coffee card, so that was like one reason to bring in Demystify. But until I see it, I don't really want to. But the Sex is doing well so far. You know, haven't dropped a game and really haven't gotten that close. So this hand is reasonable. This land situation is working much better than I expected. I really thought we were going to have more land troubles in this, but our lands have gone completely without a hitch for all three of these games. Alright. Opponent's getting in there with our monkey. Did you know that isn't a monkey? That like blew my mind the first time I read that. It's actually a goblin. It looks so much like a monkey though. Alright, let's see if our opponent has a more explosive start this game. Yep, this looks more like mono red. Alright, let's see what we can do. Probably gonna lightning strike the pyromancer instead of playing treasure map, just to minimize the damage we take from non-burn sources. But we will wait. Let them play something out. 2 lightning strikes is good, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to have our cheap removal against them. Because we don't have infinite cheap removal, to be sure. Alright, well, they didn't play anything before they attack, so gotta make a choice for us. Take 1 here. Down to 15. See what they got. A runaway steamkin. Well, good thing we have another lightning strike, for sure. And a skewer. That's pretty good. That is really good. Yep, they're... I mean, they are down to... Oh, definitely Claren's a great draw. Oh, yes. Okay. Wonderful. So they only have 2 cards in hand. So it's going to be pretty difficult for them to burn us out from 12. You know? Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this now. This seems like a great matchup. Goblin Chain Whirler. It's pretty good. Good thing we have a lightning strike. Wow, if we are, decking this deck this hard, I am very happy for the prospects of this deck. Because mono red is definitely a tier deck. And we are not letting it get anywhere with us. And this was one of their good hands, by the way. That's, that was a great curve. And all right. It's all action. Can't blame their lands this game. So we're not going to start an upkeep. We're not going to have an upkeep stop because we're probably just going to play Tezzerat next turn instead of scrying. Ooh, or Teferi. I really don't want to shock, to be honest, but I think I'm going to. It's too bad, though. Alright. Tezzerat, do your worst. We are 1 artifact away from Tezzerat 0 doing some crazy stuff. I will certainly be blocking if he attacks. That's a no-brainer. Oh my. Alright. That's the scoop that I'm more used to because, we turned the corner, we started getting, and we had so much action in hand. Alright, we're going to play 1 more. We're 2-0 so far, so that's pretty solid. Let's see if we can keep it that way, keep it undefeated. But this deck's looking great. I'm certainly willing to try this in paper. So I've been doing this standard thing where I'm trying out all the new decks from Ravnica Legions. And so far I've tried the Gruul deck that came out a little while ago. There's been some changes made to it, but overall the deck is still, I think, a tier deck. If you haven't tried green-red, I would certainly suggest, and you really like the, aggressive beatdown strategy that isn't, your regular mono red that's been ever present for the past couple years. Gruul is definitely a good one to try. This is the second one I'm trying, and this one has been wildly more successful. Though I must say, our worst matchups are the ones where we are playing against... We're not bad against control decks because we have so many planeswalkers, but we aren't quite as dominant. And we haven't been playing against those control decks, at least on screen. So this hand's excellent. Basically the dream hand, if I'm being real. Maybe a lightning strike would make it a little bit better. Alright, well, I spoke too soon. Here comes the control matchup. Let's see how it goes. So we will start by not shocking ourselves. Alright, Esper it is. Opponent leads with a tapped Watery Grave. So we will definitely be slamming our Escanta here. Escanta is great in the mirror matchup, lets us, get rid of pesky removal spells and board wipes that are dead cards in our deck. And they're exceedingly bad in this matchup, but you saw just how great they were in the last matchup. But hopefully our filtering, I mean, both Karn and Tezzerat are pretty good. I'm not sure what they'll take. They might take Karn for the card advantage, or Tezzerat. Yeah, they took Karn. Okay. Opponent surveils to the top. Okay. See what Search for Escanta has in store for us. Well, that is unnecessary. Okay. Well, we're hitting our land drops. That is important. Not that we short on lands by any means. Alright, opponent's doing the same. Plays a swamp, passes the turn. Okay. Lightning Strike is probably going to go to the graveyard. We don't really need reach yet. Wow. I kind of want to stop playing lands that they don't know about, but they're also shock lands. Although shocking does not matter in this. I think information is more important than my life total. Let's see if we can make them think we have counter spells or something. Mortify. That's pretty unfortunate. That's not great. Although I guess it did put 2 cards at the bottom, so it did something. Yeah, Mortify is really kind of a breakout removal spell. The enchantments in this format have been really insane, and having a way to get rid of them is kind of important. It's probably what makes... hold that thought. They're going to counter, aren't they? Alright, so we have a choice here. We're back to like almost the exact same hand. We could run it into a counterspell and hope that... So this is probably the best time to play it, yeah. Because if they have a Chemister's Insight, I'd rather them counter instead of Chemister's Insight. This is when you're supposed to play cards against control decks in Standard on when they have 4 lands untapped. So, okay, I am absorbed. So be it. Alright, what you got, opponent? At their own second main phase. They play a Karn of their own. Alright. Well, I will be happy to play Tezzerat. Hopefully I don't follow up with a... you have Cast Down. For sure. Roscoe's Contempt is fairly good against me. So we can play a Karn of our own, but I don't really want to. I'm going to play Tezzerat. We'll see if we can pressure their Karn and then play our own Karn. So I kind of have this feeling that Tezzerat is not long for the world. They have a lot of cards in hand. They have Vraska's Contempt and Teferi in their deck. Those are both pretty clean answers to Tezzerat. Yeah, my spidey sense is tingling for a Tezzerat here. Alright. Oh, he just grabbed Roscoe's Contempt. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Now we do get to play our own Karn, though, and start pressuring theirs. Why not? It's better practice to attack first. Opponent's thinking over main phase 1. Okay. Keep that Karn a little bit lower. And incoming Karn number 2. So we actually could minus it to really try to pressure their Karn. I think I don't care about that. I think I care more about card advantage. Although the question is, we do have a lot of dead cards in our deck. It's only a 2/2, so yeah, we'll just go for the card advantage. We really got to stick to. Oh, I mean, look. Well, that wasn't great. Lightning Strike is not insane at the moment. Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about, is that we would just find 2 cards that are both very dead against our opponent, because we do have a lot of dead cards at the moment. Alright, opponent looking at the top 2. Hoy. And our opponent is finding the undeadest of cards. I mean, obviously that Wrath doesn't do anything, but they at least get Teferi next turn. And that is not ideal. Or they just have it this turn. Oh, we are on the ropes. Honestly, if they tucked Karn there, I probably would have scooped. But since they didn't, keep playing. Well, alright, let's see what Karn gives us. But this probably is about the end of the game. 4 lands in a row. It's not insane. And another land. Oh, man. Okay, well. I mean, if we get back Ral doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that's a lot of lands. Not much I can do about that. It's okay. Our sideboard is really geared towards control. A whole lot of negates, a whole lot of Lyras. So let's see what we can do. We've beat Esper before. We can do it again. So all the negates in, all the deafening Clarions out, all the settle the wreckages out. And we're going to take out as many lightning strikes as we can, though we might not be taking out all of them. So Lyra in. Ixalan's Binding in. And we got one more card. We'll throw in a Demystify. I'm sure they have enchantment-based removal. I don't know if I actually saw any of that game. I don't think I did, to be honest. But we'll bring in one speculative Demystify. Alright, our deck should look a lot better right now. Our opponent's insignia is quite strange. Not sure what card that's supposed to be. I would love to play first. Well, this is not ideal. Yeah, there's there's no way. We need one of our early card advantage engines. Well, we didn't find one, but this is far more reasonable. Put the land to the bottom. We'll find our lands. Alright, pass it back. Our lands are pretty bad right now, but turns out it doesn't matter because we're not playing anything early. Not really what I wanted to see. Alright, play that tapped. Pass it back. Yeah, I think our opponent just has more, or It feels like they have more counterspells. I don't actually know that they do. They might also just be running Absorb and then a whole bunch of removal. So, could run out the Search, try to bait out a counter. Though I don't really want to play anything on turn 3. I'm being totally honest. Yeah, I really just don't want to play anything right now. Let's go ahead and see if we can catch something of theirs. Okay. Nothing from our opponent's side. Should I wait another turn and see if I can play Search and Karn in the same turn? Is that... So I could try to play Teferi this turn and then Karn and Search next turn? That's assuming we draw land. It's assuming they don't have... Well, they need 3 counterspells. That's unlikely. Yeah, that seems like the right line. It's a little bit risky because it doesn't work if we don't draw land. But even if we don't draw land, we can still try to play stuff next turn. I'm fairly certain this is going to get countered. Yeah, here it comes. Got the Sabotage. Oh, they got Negate. Okay, so they brought Negates. That's pretty bad for us. Hopefully that knocked off their Chemister's Insight. That's the only like upside I can hope for here. Are they about to play a Teferi their own? No. Okay, well we didn't draw land, but that is somewhat helpful. So we'll play the Dovin and maybe it eats a counterspell. Oops, that's not how you tap. Alright, opponent peeled Absorb. And we will land our Search for Escanta. So that is pretty good. Hopefully they don't have a Mortify. Although if they do have a Mortify, that means they only have 2 mana open, which that's acceptable. 3 now. Oh boy, okay. Do they tuck? Of course not. So this Demystify is looking pretty bad, but I mean it would have been a Lightning Strike, which would not look any better at the moment. So not too many regrets there. Would like some negates at some point. You know, we're behind on time, but it feels like our opponent is really taking their time here. Okay, we will put that in the graveyard. More lands. I don't think there's any sense in waiting. You know, our opponent has counter magic, then they have it. Well, they do not. That is fortuitous. Okay, it was a Fight with Fire and a Hallowed Fountain. So 2 Fight with Fires is decent. Does he tuck? He does not. That man does not like to tuck stuff. Interesting. Okay, well, luckily we have a Fight with Fire for that. Opponent discards a card. Oh, ditch the land. Sense in getting rid of a Demystify that I'm not 100% sure won't work. Hey, okay, well, That's actually scarier than the Basilica. Although I could just get back the other fight with fire and kill them both. Kind of like that plan. Depends what we draw. I do like that our opponent took the creature plan, though. That's far less scary. Because we still have some removal in our deck, obviously. And our planeswalkers are all, well, other than Karn and Tezzerat, they're all pseudo-removal. So we have answers to this kind of thing, but we have less answers to a slew of card advantage in planeswalkers. Yes, that may go in the graveyard. Whoa, 4 lands in a row. Alright, so looks like we're gonna have to minus here. We basically can't let the Sanity attack us, and I don't want this pressuring our Karn. Let's see if the first one resolves. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and get the other 5 of fire. This Steve Sanity is basically like, it's unacceptable for that to stay on the battlefield, so we kind of have to push it. Alright, that should do it. Now this obviously isn't great, but our opponent is down to 3 cards in hand. Well, I guess realistically 5, because of Teferi. Does he tuck? He does not. Alright, going for that ulti. Kind of looks like he's going to get there too. Man, we are just getting steamrolled by this deck right now. Though, to be fair, we haven't really drawn any of our sideboard other than Demystify, which has proven to be fairly useless. And they seem to have drawn all of it. 2 negates, a bunch of creatures. Are they attacking? Yeah, they're attacking Karn. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not great. Well, this might be ending on a low note here. Because I'm not going to be staying in this game much longer if they have 8 cards in hand. I'm going to need to be peeling something great here. Well, I think Absorb is too little too late. We'll keep it. But I'm not really sure what it's doing at this point. We will absolutely be transforming. Alright, let's give it the old +1. Yeah, Tezzerat and Ixalan's Binding. Well, those are hits for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have 3 mana left over, so we can keep up Absorb. Well, okay, that kind of kept us in it, if I'm being honest. If he's got 2 counter spells, that's not great. Okay, let's go ahead and absorb his absorb. Does he have a negate for my absorb or his absorb for my Tezzerat? He does not. Alright. Do I even make the Thopter? I think I do. I want to keep my Karn alive. Because if I don't try to keep my Karn alive, then he can just Teferi one and Ballista the other. Or Basilica, excuse me. I still feel like we're behind, but that helped. Okay. Man, his life total is taking a roller coaster, all on his own hand. I haven't done any damage or made him gain any life. He's gone all the way almost up to 30 and all the way back down. Okay, so Karn's probably dead. Not ideal. Alright, it's been real, Karn. Stay on the battlefield for quite a while. So, unfortunately, we are going to need to find an answer for this Teferi basically right now. Because Teferi's ult is whenever you draw a card, exile a permanent. Yeah. The answer to Teferi has to happen this turn. And probably through a counterspell. That's not really what I was looking for. Alright, let's zero him. Alright, we got one more shot. We can still find a Teferi to get his Teferi, and then hope he has no counters. Ixalan's Binding counts as an answer. Alright, come on. Keep me in this game. Don't counter it, please. Oh. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, good game. So, we didn't get there against Esper Control. They kind of picked us apart there, if I'm being honest. It's possible we need more counter spells. We did have 6 in the deck. Seems like a lot already. But all right, we'll go into the wrap up. So we were obviously incredibly strong against red, although that wasn't an insanely great showing of mono red, but nonetheless, like we didn't get close. Don't even remember the first deck we played against. But we worked it. Oh yeah, it was some kind of mid range deck. But yeah, we picked that one apart as well. Oh yeah, the dragons. That's right. So mid range was not a problem. We had the removal for everything. Burn, we were able to stay alive pretty easily at 8 life the one game and then 12 life the other. That's pretty comfortable, if I'm being honest. But we got really wrecked by control there. I think it might have been a little bit different if they played more Search for Azkantas and our Demystifies did something, or if we drew any of our negates, it might have like kept us in there a little bit longer to keep our Karn alive, keep the card advantage rolling. That's kind of the fight there, keeping whoever has more card advantage. And we don't play that big scry 3 draw 3 card. That card just really put it over the edge for our opponent. But yeah, that was the game. So Super Friends is, I mean, it's solid. If you really think you're going to fight against a lot of control, you can maybe edge out your deck, a little less Settles, a little less Deafening Clarions, put in some more counter spells. Absorbs are good. I think next time I play this, there will be more Absorbs. And possibly more Dovins at that, because one is not enough. Dovin is excellent. But yeah, thanks for watching, folks. If you want to see, and if you have a card that you want to see played, if you have a deck that you want to see played, let me know in the comments. I will definitely try to get to it. And yeah, subscribe, like, do whatever you like. Have a good one.